I finally awoke to the soft glow of Christmas lights dancing on the walls of our living room. The tree stood tall, adorned with ornaments and a myriad of wrapped presents beneath its branches. It was Christmas morning, and excitement filled the air. Little did I know that that festive day would soon turn into a chilling nightmare. As I descended the stairs, very happy to go look at my presents, the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the warmth of holiday. My family had gathered in the living room, ready to unwrap the gifts that awaited us. The joy of Christmas morning was always infectious, and we exchanged laughter and smiles as we settled in front of the tree. I couldn't help but notice a large and beautifully wrapped present with a golden bow, a gift from my parents, no doubt. The anticipation grew with each passing moment. The room was filled with the rustle of wrapping paper, the delighted faces, and the joyous exclamations as each gift was revealed. But as the pile of torn wrapping paper grew, I noticed something unsettling. The large present with the golden bow was missing. Panic set in, and I frantically searched the room with the hope that it had been misplaced or maybe overlooked. My heart sank as the realization hit me. Someone had taken it. A sense of unease gripped the entire room as my family gathered around, realizing that one of our presents was now gone. The festive atmosphere turned tense, and we began to question each other, searching for an explanation. No one had seen anything suspicious, and the mystery hung in the air like a dark cloud. As we pondered the unsettling disappearance, a chill ran down my spine. The sound of footsteps echoed from the hallway, accompanied by the creaking of the floorboards. Panic set in as we had realized that an intruder had infiltrated our home on this holiday. I motioned for my family to stay put as I cautiously followed the sound of the footsteps. With them slowly behind me, the hallway was dimly lit, and I walked as the shadows danced behind me. My heart raced with each step, and the air became heavy with tension. Before you ask why I did this alone, my father was a heavy man, and he was right there behind me the whole time, but I told him to stay back because his noise would just be too loud. As I turned the corner, I came face to face with the intruder, a masked figure shrouded in the dark. And there it was. The stolen present was at his feet, the golden bow now tarnished and crushed under the weight of him. In that chilling moment, the intruder and I locked eyes, and a silent understanding passed between us. Without a word, the intruder fled to one of the rooms, locking the door and going out the window. He disappeared into the cold winter night, and the stolen gift, which once was a symbol of joy, laid there crushed. We ended up continuing our Christmas morning, but the festive spirit had been replaced by lingering fear, and that fear still exists to this day. Christmas Eve in Maine was usually a picturesque scene straight out of a holiday card, with snow-covered streets and cozy homes adorned with twinkling lights. This year, however, a looming blizzard threatened to turn the festive season into a chilling nightmare. I peered through the frost-covered window as the first snowflakes began to fall. The weather forecast had warned us of a severe blizzard, but no one anticipated the speed at which it would descend upon the town. The power flickered, then went out completely, plunging our home into the dark. Candles also flickered as we huddled together in the living room, wrapped in our blankets for warmth. The distant echoes of the wind and the creaking of snow-laden branches against the house created a weird symphony. As the hours passed, anxiety filled the room, and we knew we were stranded, cut off from the rest of the world by a wall of snow. All that we saw was our Christmas lights outside, dimly lighting the falling snow. Other than that, the world beyond our windows had disappeared. With each passing minute, the temperature dropped, and the once comforting warmth of our home began to wane. The blizzard showed no signs of letting up, and our supplies dwindled for that night. As it wore on, we stayed there when we heard a knock on the door shatter the frozen silence. I cautiously opened it to find a fellow resident, desperate and shivering from the cold. He pleaded for shelter, explaining that his own home had succumbed to the storm's fury. We hesitated to welcome him in this blizzard. Not only did we hesitate because he was a random man, but we hesitated because he seemed normal. Normal in the sense that he didn't have much grief about his home being buried by snow. And it was also the fact that he was a random man, not even our neighbor. At the end of the night, we ultimately decided to allow him into our garage, and we gave him a blanket to stay there. We didn't let him into our home, as we didn't know what he was really capable of. By the time everyone had fallen asleep, the morning had arisen. The first thing that was on everybody's mind was to check the stranger in the garage. Upon slowly opening the door, my entire family had entered the garage. To our surprise, everything was turned over in the garage, with boxes on the floor, and the entire garage door completely open. Even our blanket was gone, as if this man had just gotten up, taken the blanket, and left. We don't know what else he took, or if he even stole anything else at all. Everything in the garage wasn't of much importance to us, so it didn't matter much. But what had us confused is, what was that man really up to? And did he even need a place to stay at all? Or were his intentions much more sinister than he let them on to be? Christmas in my small suburban town had always been a time of joy, with neighbors exchanging cheerful greetings. As I decorated my home with lights and hung ornaments on the tree, an uneasy feeling settled in the pit of my stomach. Strange occurrences began to unfold that day. Subtle signs that someone was watching, someone who knew more about my life than I was comfortable with. It started innocently enough with an anonymous holiday card left in my mailbox. The handwriting was unfamiliar, but the message inside contained intimate details about my daily routines and personal life. I dismissed it as a misguided attempt at spreading holiday cheer, but the unease lingered. Days passed, and the intrusions escalated. Packages arrived at my doorstep, each one containing items that only someone with intimate knowledge of my life would possess. Photographs of me taken without my knowledge, personal mementos, and even a recording of a private conversation I had. The stalker's twisted gifts were a chilling violation of my privacy. I became hyper-aware of my surroundings, constantly scanning the neighborhood for any sign of an unseen person. Every creak of the floorboard, every rustle of the wind outside, it all seemed to carry the weight of a hidden presence. Sleep became elusive as paranoia gripped my thoughts. I even called the police, but they said there was nothing they can do about it. The stalker's sinister game reached a climax. A chilling message was etched onto my front door with a sharp object. It spelled out ominous words that immediately made me call the police. This time, they promised to investigate the unsettling series of events. That night, as the town slept in anticipation of Christmas morning, I remained vigilant. I usually looked forward to Christmas, but this time, I was hoping there was a quick end in sight. Ultimately, the police investigation yielded no immediate leads, leaving me to grapple with the reality that the stalker might never be identified.